You're strapped for time, and yet you have this nagging feeling that you could be or should be doing something more for your community. I know the feeling. In this week's video, we're going to be looking at some unique ways beyond donating money or a can of beans to give back to your community. And stick around to the end because I'll do some hands-on and show you a great way to open up a whole assortment of opportunities to give back. You won't want to miss it. You're watching Fun to Know with Carol, and I'm Carol, here with weekly videos to help interesting people like you connect with their curiosity. Now, on with the show. Our topic this week is giving back, and I was fascinated with the fact that so many people want to get involved with their communities, but donating money doesn't have quite the same appeal. Now, granted, money is still appreciated by most nonprofits. Sometimes, though, we'd like something a little more tangible. So today we're going to look at a lot of different options from 3 different organizations. The first is your local food bank or food pantry. Beyond donating money or food itself, food banks rely on volunteers for things like food distributions and gleaning. Now, gleaning might be a term that you're not familiar with, but I actually have a gleaner in my household. My husband, Ross, is a gleaner. Gleaning is a concept that started thousands of years ago when ancient farmers would reserve a portion of their field for the poor to come in. They would harvest everything except that portion, and after the harvest was done, the gleaners could come in and take what they needed. Today, if you live in an agricultural area, you might find that your local food bank has a gleaning program where volunteers will go into fields and even backyard fruit trees and harvest what otherwise would have gone to waste. Within a couple of hours, a team of volunteers can harvest hundreds of pounds of produce, which would then go back to the food bank. In many areas, the local food bank can also tell you how to get involved with a food distribution, where that produce that was gleaned, along with canned fruits and vegetables and other staples, are packaged and given to families in need. In our area, there's one distribution that actually serves over 300 families each month, and that's just one distribution. It happens many times over the course of the month. It's a great way to get involved. And then I reached out to the Global Food Banking Network, and I was surprised to find out that there are food banks in 44 different countries around the world. It's fun to know that there are these efforts happening all around the globe, and we can even be involved. Now, you might be saying, what could I possibly do internationally? Well, these food banks have social media accounts. I will post some of those links in the description box below. One way we can show our support and help them raise their awareness is simply by going and liking their pages. It's a great way to be involved on a global level as well. Raising that awareness is desperately needed, and how easy is that? So if hunger or food scarcity is an issue that's near and dear to your heart, these are some great options for you to consider. My second Fun to Know option is the Buy Nothing Project. Buy Nothing was founded about 8 years ago by 2 friends who wanted to instill a giving economy. They used the Facebook platform, which was free, to establish a group that would be focused on a hyper-local neighborhood system of giving and receiving. There's no money that changes hands. It's simply gifts and buying nothing. Now, 8 years later, there are over 6,000 Buy Nothing groups around the world. The purpose is to build community as we give and receive from one another. So that's the reason why you can only belong to one Buy Nothing group. It's hyper-local. I've been involved for over a year now, and it's fun to know that there are people who want or need the things that I want or need to give. Even things that are not new or that I'm just tired of them, there's usually someone who wants or needs that item. You may be asking, well, what kinds of things are given? Well, it ranges all the way from a homemade loaf of sourdough bread to a porch swing, to used children's clothing, to a table lamp, to a jam that was just freshly made. It just doesn't matter as long as you're giving with no strings attached. I know why I participate in Buy Nothing, but I asked a few of my friends and thought you might be interested in hearing their answers. In a minute, I'm going to share my screen and show you one of the simplest things that will blow you away with options for getting involved. But first, if you're new here, welcome. Please subscribe to the channel if you're finding value here, and tell me where you're viewing from. Here's the question of the day. Tell me in the comments below. What's the most meaningful thing you've been able to do to give back? Now, it doesn't have to be huge, no one's judging here, but I think it could be inspiring to hear what other people are doing, large or small. Okay, if you would rather have lots of options when it comes to volunteering, I want to show you a resource that I think is just great. It's a website called volunteermatch.org. I'm going to walk you through how easy it is to get started here. So the first thing we're going to do once we're on the website is type in our location. So I'm going to choose Roselle, Illinois, and then find opportunities. Now what comes up are some opportunities that, I'm not real interested in. So what I'll do is go up to the gray bar at the top. These are filters, and I'm going to click on the first blank one here, which is a whole series of causes. What is interesting to me? Well, I'm a lover of animals, so let's click on animals. I can choose more than one cause, but for purposes of this demonstration, let's just choose animals and then save. So that narrows things down slightly, but I want to make sure that it matches my skills. So I can select up to 10 different skills here. Each one of them has a sub-menu behind it. So for instance, in finance, if I was good at bookkeeping, I would click on bookkeeping. Maybe I could also click on reporting and dashboards or whatever I wanted. But we'll choose save here. And what happened to all of our opportunities? Well, maybe it's because we haven't traveled far enough for our opportunities. So right here, it's automatically selected 20 miles. And I could choose 60, but really 20 is as far as I want to go. So let's leave that at 20 miles and choose save. Still, all of the opportunities look like they've disappeared. But when I go to virtual online and click on that, whoa, a whole different ball game here, because I think because of COVID, a lot of opportunities have gone virtual. So you can see that in the finance area, there's a whole series of opportunities that are virtual. Now, when I find the one that I'd like to explore, I will just click on it, and it takes me to their information page where I can see when they want me to volunteer, where it is, what kinds of skills, and any requirements. So for this one, I would need a background check, and it would involve 4 to 6 hours a month. You'll also see some events that are local to the actual organization. So in this case, the organization is in Massachusetts. So if you were in that area, that would be kind of a fun thing to attend. And then you've got their mission statement and description. So all of that is included in their web page with Volunteer Match. You see, there are opportunities of all kinds here. Some are long-term, some are one-time only. Depending on your preferred communication choice, Volunteer Match will email you periodically with opportunities that coincide with the skills and causes that you've shown an interest in. There's no obligation there. They just bring it to your attention, and if you're interested in pursuing, you respond, and if not, you just ignore it. And there you have it, folks. Some very tangible, non-monetary ways to get involved. Go with your passion, the thing that excites you, because that's how you will glean the things that you are hungering for, and you can buy nothing that compares with that. You see what I just did there? I'll see you again next week with a completely different topic. I do appreciate you and your desire to learn something that's fun to know. Thanks for watching, and have a great week ahead.